Yo, chess fans, it's International Master Daniel Wrench here, broadcasting to you live from the booth here in Arizona where I live. And today I wanted to give you guys another news update here, Chess World update, and mainly we're here to talk about the Tal Memorial, which is an incredible event going on right now in Moscow. We are covering it live on Chess.com TV. I did the first round yesterday by my lonesome self, and we had a ton of fun. Saw some incredibly exciting games, including a big upset with the lowest rated Nepomniachtchi earning a victory with black over one Vladimir Kramnik. But before I go any further and even give you an update on the standings today, I just saw a sick game by one Magnus Carlsen, a game that he won over Boris Gelfand, completely back and forth game. Listening to Grandmaster commentary during the game, they didn't even have a clue what was going on, with Magtown basically playing like a beast computer toward the end of the game. And before I even say another word about it, let's take a look at this thing together. We got the Queen's Gambit here starting out, and then we have a quick Slav move order by Gelfand. Rather regular development, so nothing too exciting going on here, with Magnus playing an early knight h4 to go and pick up the bishop pair on the king side. And this type of approach is often played here against the Slav when black chooses to develop the bishop outside of the pawn chain. But normally here, white takes a few different approaches. Sometimes white can fiend kettle this bishop and take his time defending against the potential h-file pressure from black on the king side. But we're going to see that Magnus had absolutely no fear of that in this game and completely went for it over on the queen side, while basically playing a simple move to defend against this threat here on h2. And after the game developed, you're going to see we reached a really exciting, very interesting, very original position here, with Magnus being aggressive, playing d5, hoping to open up the c file and eventually get pressure against black's king. And Boris pretty much returns the favor by playing e4 with the immediate threat of queen e5. In your face, Magnus, is what he's thinking at this point. But after Magnus says, "I fear no man, I fear no queen" on h2 either, and takes c6, Boris says, "Well, we'll see about that." Plays the move queen e5. And after we get f4, the position gets really nutty. Takes f3, rook takes f3. And when I first saw this position, I thought literally Magnus is on something, because I'm looking at the position, waiting for a nightmare to take place over there for the white king. But the check, as we see, doesn't really do anything here, and Magnus would have been just fine. But rather, Boris found the move that Grandmaster commentary was screaming for and expecting a win for black after the move, and that move was knight to g4, double exclam. Very strong idea, threatening to check with the queen on h2 and then continue the attack. So Magnus takes on b7 with check, as we can see here. The king moves, and the problem is that there's a famous mating net here, that if white takes it, black is going to sacrifice the rook on h1, and after the king takes, complete the checkmate. But Magnus says, wait a second, I don't play by the classic rules of chess, baby. I'm Magnus Carlsen. He takes on g4, and after check, he says, I'll play king f2 and give you that rook on a1, and now I'm going to defend my king, and we'll see whose king is in trouble down the road. Plus, I've got the bishop pair in compensation for the exchange. In all fairness to Boris, this position has to be okay for black. And you're looking at the position thinking black probably is better here, with a completely exposed king and an absolutely mess of a pawns and white's pawn structure. And I'm seeing this game and looking at the commentary, even the post-game commentary still says that black was doing just fine. But Magnus's defense of this position was absolutely perfect. And even these two rooks on the first rank were not enough to scare him. He defends the position perfectly, getting to the point where if Gelfand wants, maybe he can keep the rooks on the first rank and try to keep threats of a perpetual check. But I think Gelfand maybe still felt better at this moment, still playing against the white king. But it's interesting to see how well centralized, the white pieces are, and how Gelfand really can't get anything against Magnus's king. As the game develops here, black plays the incredibly strong idea f5. He knows he's losing the pawn to this en passant sacrifice, but his plan is to swing the queen down and bring it down to h-town, put the white king in smash town. Look how many towns we just had in that little sentence right there. Bishop takes f6, queen to h7, thinking the game maybe just about over. Looks like Magnus doesn't have enough counterplay. The queen is coming in. All hell is breaking loose, and Magnus finds the only move, according to computer analysis and Grandmasters during the game, and he finds this move under time pressure. Just absolutely incredible. Plays the move queen to b5, a brilliant move. The only move that saves the position, immediately unleashing counterplay as well as freeing the square for the king. And surprisingly, amazingly enough, black just can't quite get to the king here. We're talking about a king walk in the middle of the board. After Black decides to bail out into the endgame because he doesn't see any other choice, White basically centralizes the pieces and is playing with an advantage here when all is considered, basically because he has so many pawns for the exchange. Note that taking f6 wouldn't do anything but unleash a discovery against the rook and actually lose material in the end. So taking f6 was not an option. Black simply retreated the bishop to c7, but that was also a blunder, and after the move bishop to c6, actually just resigned the game, in light of the fact that knight takes f6 is met by knight takes f6, followed by threats of knight to d7 check, as well as the discovery on g2, and that's all she wrote for Billy Blue. That was an amazing game. Incredible fighting spirit by both players. Really showed a lot of resourcefulness from Magnus, and I'm sure he's feeling good at the top of the leaderboard, as we can see now. We have Ian Nepomniachtchi as well as Magnus Carlsen, and of course Chucky, as I like to call him, the honey badger of chess players, always resourceful, always there in the end, just takes what he wants. That's right. I'm pretty excited to see how this one plays out. Notice that all three of those players have performance ratings above 2,900, and this is going to be awesome. This has been a news update about the Tal Memorial Live. The other storyline I'm interested in following is the lone American, of course, Hikaru Nakamura, who's off to a solid start with 2 draws, somewhere in the middle of the pack, performing a little bit below his rating, but right now the tournament is just starting, and to be interested to see how Hikaru finishes as the tournament plays out. This is going to be a long, exciting event. Again, we're covering it on Chess TV. You got to come check it out. I'm doing a round on Saturday with my brother, and it's going to be a ton of fun early morning. And hope to see everybody there on Chess.com. If you're not a member, well, now's the time. You shouldn't be here watching chess videos. You should be over playing in live chess tournaments on Chess.com, which are going on as we speak. So have a great day here on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you around on Chess.com.